What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mel for another classic review, and today I'll be talking about my thoughts of a Halloween special that I've seen. I think it was back in 2004, but actually it was released in 2002. But it was until it was shown in a Cartoon Network around 2004. It's based on a popular short story, which we all know what it is. What's the most famous town around this time, around Halloween, involves a guy carrying a pumpkin for a head? The Headless Horseman, but this time it's called The Haunted Pumpkin of Sleepy Hollow, which I didn't know this came out in 2002. I thought it came out like in 2004 because I seen this in Cartoon Network in 2004 when it was premiered on Fridays. And I was in the second grade when I saw this. It's like, let's just say I kind of like wanted to learn more about this story. And before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit a bell? If so, will you walk never mind. You know what I'm gonna say, but hey, at least I tried. And sorry, I have allergies, so whew. But yeah, The Haunted Pumpkin of Sleepy Hollow was a direct-to-video special inspired by Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It was actually done by Portrait Entertainment, Portrait Pictures Division, which I think I've seen that logo before. I think they did kids shows as well. I try to remember which. I've seen that logo, the Portrait logo before. Shit. But yeah, it was directed by, well, and this was a Halloween special back. I didn't know it was actually first came direct to video, then it was on Cartoon Network. I still have the recordings of the old VHS tape. Well, it's now public domain. You go actually find it on YouTube. Just put Haunted Pumpkin of Sleepy Hollow, boom, right there. It's on YouTube. Go watch it before I tell about this review. So yeah, how does this open? Well, we get a Portrait logo, then we have this eerie music equivalent of wolf howling, and we see the logo appearing, the Haunted Pumpkin of Sleepy Hollow, and guess who's running? Ichabod Crane being chased by the Headless Horseman, of course. But I like they give the Headless Horseman like a growl, like he's like an animal, like rah, rah, but more deep and menacing tone. It could be more like a chicken now compared to other cartoon versions. We have the Disney version of Ichabod Crane, which is more of a scarecrow with a long nose and feet like shovels. This one looks more like a chubby little human. Of course, we all know what happens after that. He crosses the bridge. I feel like it's not a wooden covered bridge like in the story. Instead, it's a regular wooden bridge without the outside, like a regular bridge. You see the church in the background. He's safe. Bullshit. He throws the Headless Horseman throws his head, his pumpkin, and right in the face. Until we get a narrated and the school teacher, Ichabod Crane, was never heard or seen again. And it turns out we cut to present day. It's actually a museum in Sleepy Hollow. Mostly a Sleepy Hollow museum a day before Halloween, which of course the museum has all sorts of information, including the original manuscript of Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow in a protective case, which of course is a special case to keep it from getting damaged. Nerd alert. Of course, we meet our two protagonists, Nick and Kate. Nick Crane, which is believed he's the descendant of Ichabod Crane. One, because he looks similar to. He has one trait. Both have the same trait. Chicken! And Kate, the brains of all time, of course. Which, of course, Kate suggested Nick could be a related, distant cousin to Ichabod Crane, which he very nervously denies. Which, let's face it, you want to be related to somebody who got yeeted by the Headless Horseman? Hey, you got some bragging rights. Say, hey, maybe he did survive, and look where I am. Look, if I'm here, he must have survived from the Horseman. Monorail. Sorry, I had to do that. But yeah, of course, he's been picked on by the bully. Boy. I forget the name of the bully. What's his name? Shit. Tucker, of course. Every bully's name is Tucker. Jesus, fuck. Of course, they had to, they want, because there's a pumpkin contest, so the museum is closing, and of course, everybody leaves. When the security guard closes up, unaware, we have two thieves in our midst. Lunk and Crunk, I think? Sorry, but Leo and Grunk, two bumbling crooks posing as window washers, are planning to steal the manuscript to sell it for cash. Which, hey, when you got a manuscript written by the man who wrote one of the most famous tales, millions of dollars, boys. Which, of course, they're bumbling because Grunk is the most clumsiest crook ever, while Leo, the short one, has the brains but not the height. Jesus Christ. Let's just say they managed, but unfortunately they set up the alarm, which of course the security guard finds out it's all has been stolen, but of course he finds out who were the culprits because they left a trail of window wash bubbles. Jesus. Meanwhile, Nick and Kay are looking for pumpkins. Unfortunately, the pumpkin he finds at the stands are too small, so they decided to go to the pumpkin patch in the middle of the woods on the haunted forest. Of course, we ran into the two bumbling idiots being chased by the security guard from the museum until they arrive at the pumpkin patch and hide the manuscript inside the pumpkin, one of the pumpkins. Of course, when Nick and Kay arrive, they actually, I think, what the pumpkin that contains the manuscript managed to reveal itself, and they got their attention, and they picked that one as, which of course, as Kate was satisfied with any of the pumpkins they saw at the same town. They eventually choose the pumpkin that Leo Grunk had hidden the manuscript in, which of course the kids don't realize. The kids eventually confronted by the guard and explains that what happened. Kate, of course, speaking for herself, and Nick offers to help the guard find the manuscript, which the guard says, thanks for the offer, but leave it to the professionals. Sorry, I had to do that. Of course, they head back to the school, which, damn, they have the whole school to themselves? Huh, that privilege, don't they? Ooh, okay, this is like past after school hours, so damn. I don't do that after school hours or something? But of course, they start, well, let's just say they first want to carve the pumpkin, and when they turn around, boom, Aaron has a face, which looks similar to the one that the horseman had when he threw it at Ichabod Crane, the same face. But of course, Nick and Kate ask each other if they carved their face and say nope, until he cool an eerie glow. When they get closer, some strange mist pops up, and of course, it's a ghost. Which, of course, sorry, I had to pause. Which, of course, both of them freak out. Literally, both of them. We do have this homage of them of making Kate Crane this zombie prop for the haunted house, which it's actually pretty funny. Where Nate, the ghost, enters the locker and sees the skeleton, which of course, when Kate takes the photo of the ghost, nothing. You can't. Hey, ghosts do not turn up in film. That's basic paranormal 101. Unless it's a strange orb, it might work. Which, of course, Nathaniel Wiley introduced himself as a war hero of the American Revolution who died in the Battle of White Plains, which, of course, is mentioned in Irving's story. Which, of course, let's just say he mentions that it's the year that all ghosts roam the earth until he says he never seen a ghastly creature like that. Which, of course, when Kate mentions the battle in the story of Washington Irving's story in the Legend of Sleep Hollow, that's when Nate said, "Ha! What does a writer know? Let me tell you about the story. He was a Hessian. He was a ruthless revolutionary soldier who deal with dark magic. But some of the revolutionaries had some magic of their own. The Hessian was defeated and beheaded. Which regards, I kind of like they kept the Hessian, the Hello Horseman, which of course explains the Hello Horseman, a mercenary Hessian who made a deal with dark forces to make himself unstoppable, which it sounds like from the lead from the Tim Burton film. That looks familiar, like in the story of the Tim Burton film, where the elders tell Ichabod about the story of the Hessian, which his commerce came for fortune, he came for carnage. Sounds similar, huh? But of course, he was defeated by the American soldier who knew magic of their own. Of course, he was, and his head became a pumpkin. And he remained that way for centuries. Of course, and when Nick says, "Oh, that's it," wrong. And tonight is the anniversary of his death. And he's still looking for his head. If he gets his hands on it on the stroke of midnight, he will return full. What that means, if the horseman gets his pumpkin by midnight, he'll live again and become truly unstoppable. Which, of course, Nick obviously freaks out about the story and Kate just heard. But she's confident that they and Nathaniel can keep the pumpkin away from the horseman until midnight, which... During the ensuing children, Nathaniel knows Nick bears a striking resemblance to Ichabod Crane and questions if he's related to the old schoolmaster. Nick, just admit it, you're related to, but even the ghost knows Ichabod Crane personally, so you can't deny it. Just like the museum, he tries to deny it. Of course, Nick initially figures that they'll be able to keep the pumpkin safe from school. Of course, Leo Grump disguises themselves as the Headless Horseman. Almost managed to grab it, but of course they failed. Ultimately, Nathaniel and the kids ran into the woods. Well, there was a gag where both of them went inside the science lab. They try to find where they are. They fall in the locker, but nope. It was the zombie skills that were scared the shit out of them. And the zombie fell and like, scary. That was a good gag right there. Of course, they run into the woods. Which, of course, during the time of the story, while he's talking about the story, the horseman actually rose from the grave. Not just him. He was... How do you bury a guy with his horse? Damn. I think people bury their motorcycles and that, but burying a horse? You can see him rising from the grave, and his horse has appeared, rose up as well, with the lightning flash. Shit. That's quite interesting, though. Shit. Of course, now, he's on the hunt for his head. While running through the woods, let's just say the pumpkin starts to bring the trees to life, and tries to grab the kids and the pumpkin. Which, of course, Kate suggests that she, Nick, and Nathaniel hide in the old Van Tassel Manor. You know what they called it? Castle Van Tassel. Let's just say which has been the abandoned family estate of Katrina Van Tassel's family. Which, of course, arriving at the abandoned estate, Nathaniel clearly unimpressed with the current state of the manor, which he remembers back when the Tassels were alive. Katrina's father, Baltus, was for the last part of the Kate reveals that in the late 20s, Baltus' descendants ended up losing their fortune in the stock market crash of 1929. Which and you see Nathaniel's face, like he has a wordless expression of confusion, which of course Nick explains that Kate knows a lot about history of Sleepy Hollow, Sleepy Hollow history. So now we know what happened. Not only that Katrina marries a dumb jock, the whole family lost their fortune centuries later in the stock market crash of 29, which I did. That's some information we didn't know. Of course, when he entered inside the old manor, which of course deserted, filled with spiders, of course when Nathaniel mentions, when the Van Tassels were alive. They were lovely parties they were. Passing by the old portraits of Baltus and his wife. Which of course the parties that happened in the estate when the original Van Tassels were still, However, it turns out that the place isn't deserted as the trio initially thought, because it turns out, besides Nathaniel, the place is haunted by the ghosts of Baltus Van Tassel and his wife. Which, of course, led the Van Tassel and the trio a scared, silly, but various apparition haunted castle. During which they get menaced by a pair of skeletons playing a card game, who accuses Nick of cheating even though he was not even playing, which is actually pretty funny. Back in Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman running through the town on the way to get his head. Eventually, Leo Grunk make it to the castle. Billy intends to, of course, do the same shit over again. While the family kids are doing their best to keep the pumpkins safe, of course, they keep encountering the ghosts and apparitions. Back in the woods, the Headless Horseman falls off his horse when he actually bumps into the guard, which the guard thinks the Headless Horseman is just another costume. Instead, the guard didn't have candy, but he gave him mint. He literally just put the horse just chucked it in where it's supposed to be his neck. He's like, just like that, inside the neck hole, just chucked it in there. Jesus Christ! I wonder what the Disney version Nick Ichabod saw down there when the horseman laughed. Something worse. Okay, but during the chase, of course, they actually lose the pumpkin, which lands on Mrs. Van Tassel. Let's just say, when Nathaniel explains that what they're holding is the actual head of the Hessian soldier, which of course freaks them both out. Which Mrs. Van Tassel remembers how this Hessian was the one that chased Ichabod out, and ultimately leaving her daughter Victorina to marry Abraham von Brunt instead, or Brom Bones, which she calls him aloud. Which, remember, Mrs. Van Tassel likes Ichabod more. He's more educated, an educated man. Like Baltus, who likes Brom, more like an adventurer, just like him when he was a young boy. Which, of course, that's when Baltus mentions, calm down, hon. Remember, your high blood pressure was the death of you. Which, she got a high blood pressure, so I guess your daughter have no choice but marrying the guy you hate, instead of the guy who has more education, who end up getting disappeared by the horseman. Damn. Holy shit, I don't blame her. Of course, this makes Van Tassel angry enough to toss the pumpkin into the direction of the mansion's front door. Leo, with the hood up, pretending to be the horseman, manages to get hold of the pumpkin, which of course leaves. Oh, thank you very much. Kate immediately starts chasing after Leo to get the pumpkin from him, and she and Nick manage to knock the pumpkin off him. Grunt, who's way outside, eventually runs into the actual horseman, mistakenly for Leo. Leo, you here? Where you get the horse? The pumpkin still bounces into Grunt and say, "Oh, pumpkin? Hey, I got it." Which of course is confusing because there's three. Huh? Until Nick, Kate, and the family soon realize that there's only two fake ones. Until they realize the one on the horse, when Kate bets on the one in the zombie horse, which of course is the real horseman, and both freaked out. Jesus Christ. And this fight continues by playing hot potato with the pumpkin, and I say both the crooks get knocked off by the horseman. And guess what they run into? The guard. And they fall on their asses. Meanwhile, Nick and Kate and Nathaniel trying to get the pumpkin away from the horseman until the horseman grabs Kate and threatens to harm her if he doesn't give up the pumpkin. Which, of course, he has no choice. He tosses the pumpkin to the horseman. Midnight strikes, and the horseman places it on his shoulder, but fortunately, the clock says midnight, but his universal watch says 12:01. So technically, time's up, and it's too late. the horseman disappears forever, which of course, this is the whole fiasco, I tell you what. Which of course, yeah. Of course, Kate, Nathaniel, and the Van Tassels congratulate Nick on a quick thinking, and everyone's happy that the Headless Horseman is gone for good. Which, of course, the Van Tassels return to the manor, which is in peace. Which, of course, the pumpkin changes now a traditional smiling one when they open. It's the missing manuscript. When the guard arrives along with Leo and Grunt, he thanks the kids for helping retrieve the manuscript. He also gives some mint to Nathaniel, which he says, "Ghosts don't eat candy." Mint, actually, that's I think that's Tic Tac. But yeah, which of course Kate thanks Nathaniel for helping stopping the horseman, but Nathaniel feels that most of the credit should go to Nick, of course, complimenting the boy for his bravery, even though knows his courageous he was in comparison to Ichabod, which of course Nick has no choice but reveals something. He's in fact a distantly related to Ichabod Crane, and he's related to Ichabod Crane from his dad's side of the family, which of course Kate said she knew it, but of course why? Because remember, Ichabod was a bit of a chicken, if you don't recall, so that's why Nick is reveal it, because he's too embarrassed because well, remember, Ichabod was a chicken, and so was him. But now, after what he did, now he feels proud to be related to the famed schoolmaster. After the ordeal, let's just say, they get back to school, running their haunted house. With success, Tucker, the asshole that he is, let's just say, refuses to go in the haunted because it was boring, it ain't that scary, and also he criticizes Nick and Kate's jack-o'-lantern, saying, "A happy pumpkin!" Until 3, 2, 1, Nathaniel pops out, "Not scary? I'll show you what fear it is." Which, of course, starts chasing Tucker right there. I like how Nathaniel just pops out of the pumpkin with red eyes, like he's demonic. He chased him all the way out of the school, and that was it. And that was the Haunted Pumpkin of Sleepy Hollow, folks, and I'd say this is what I would call one of those Halloween specials, but hey, ain't like, the haunted, ain't like the Halloween tree, but hey, it's still a good Halloween special to watch on Halloween, though. Those who like, if you related to Sleepy Hollow and that. Me, when I was a kid, I loved pumpkins. I'm always addicted to them. I never carved them. I just grabbed a marker and draw on their faces, I did carve a few of them, but yeah. I kind of wish I wanted to carve a pumpkin now after reading this. But yeah, I remember when this came out in Cartoon Network in 2004, but I think it keep airing on doing reruns every October in Cartoon Network. I don't know when they stopped. I don't know, but if you guys are interested to watch it, go watch it on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on public domain in its full entirety. So yeah, go watch it before you watch this review. Like I said, it's twice in the beginning of the review, so yeah, it's only get confused. But yeah, folks, that'll be it for today. And if you want any other Halloween specials you want me to review on, comment down below. It could be from Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, Disney Channel, or Toon Disney back in the good old days. But yeah, until then, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, and remember our goal to hit 1 million subscribers, or at least 500k. Hey, it's been 11 years, so let's do this. And until then, have a great day, everybody. See ya. Peace out.